I did this exercise almost every day for 30 days straight, and it helped me triple my revenue. You see, I was stressed out, overwhelmed, and overthinking every freaking thing in my business. And at the time, we were doing around $8 to $10,000 per month. But no matter what I seemed to do, nothing would move the needle. I couldn't get through this plateau. And I was so stressed out at the time. And I was doing everything. I felt like I was posting content, I was DMing, I was even running ads, I was hosting challenges. I was doing so much and I was so stretched thin. And I remember talking with a mindset mentor of mine, as a mindset coach, and he was just like, dude, you've got to try this exercise. And I'm going to walk you through this exercise that I did years back that helped me be able to go from around that 8 to 10K per month mark all the way up to $30,000 per month during that season. And since then, I've used it over the last handful of years to be able to bust through lots of plateaus and be able to even get up to over $100,000 per month. And so I'm going to walk you through this. This is a super powerful exercise. The idea here is it's going to help you uncover hidden beliefs that are holding you back. And so all I ask here is like, I'm just giving you what's helped me. You try this on for yourself. I want you to be able to do this exercise in with something that might be holding you back, an obstacle that you're facing, a problem that you're in right now, and just try it out. Try it on and just experience for yourself some of the profound impacts that it can have. Because look at this. Tony Robbins says success is 80% psychology, 20% strategy and skills. And from my experience, I can agree because you can have the right strategy, you can have even some skill sets, but if your beliefs and your thinking and your state is off, it's really, really hard to have that focus and clarity to grow. And here's what I mean. I had ChatGPT create me this kind of parable analogy because I thought it painted the picture really, really well. And so here it is. I want you to imagine you're driving down a scenic mountain road, excited to reach the breathtaking viewpoint at the top, right? Just close your eyes and I want you to imagine this for a minute. Unless you're driving, don't close your eyes, just imagine it. You've been planning this trip for weeks, right? You're dreaming of that crisp air and that stunning vista, that viewpoint that you're gonna see. But as soon as you start to climb, the dense fog rolls in and your windshield begins to fog up. The road ahead becomes blurry and you start to grip your wheel, unsure if you're even on the right path. Your instincts tell you to stop, to turn around, to maybe even blame the fog for ruining your journey. But deep down, you know the fog isn't the problem. It's your windshield, right? Very important point here. If you take just a moment to clear it, the path will become visible again and you'll realize the destination is still within reach. So this illusion exercise that we're about to walk through is like clearing your windshield. The fog represents the limiting beliefs, the fears, and the distorted perspectives clouding your vision. Beliefs like, I need to fix this right now. I'm not good enough. There's never enough time. There's a deadline I have to meet, right? Whatever it may be, these illusions make the road seem harder than it actually is, causing you to hesitate, doubt, or give up. So by pausing to address the fog, which are your illusions, you don't change the road. You change how you see it. This exercise helps you shift your perspective, recognize the path forward, and move ahead with clarity and confidence. Without clearing the fog, you will stay stuck, frustrated, or even worse, you'll turn back when success is just a little farther up the road. So the question here that we're going to pose and we're going to dive into this is, will you let the fog dictate your journey, or will you take time to clear the windshield and to drive forward to the life you're meant to create? And so the only difference between the version that you are right now and the version you want to be is your perspective. If you already saw things the way you knew they could be, if you had the perspectives and the beliefs, you would already have those results. We see this all the time in like weight loss, right? If somebody is trying to lose weight, but they're like 100 pounds overweight, they know what to do. It's like you got to go work out. They know what to do, right? What's stopping them is they have these false beliefs. They have these limiting perspectives. They don't see the world the way somebody that's fit does, right? But once they change those beliefs, once they change those perspectives, they're able to start to change the results they get because they change the actions that they take, right? They change how they see it, which allows them to take better action. The same is true with us in business, okay? And so the idea here is we want to break our own patterns because we're all in a cycle. We're all in a pattern right now, right? There are seasons in life. There are seasons. There's like spring, there's summer, there's fall, there's winter, right? There's different seasons and there's different patterns that we go through. And so the question you always want to be asking yourself is, who must I become? What personality must I have to get the results that I want? Because your personality, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, creates your personal reality. And so The whole idea with this exercise, and we're going to walk through, and then I'm going to walk you through some of the illusions so you can start to pinpoint this, is we want to be able to move from the amygdala to the prefrontal cortex. Now, I'm not going to bore you with a science lesson because, quite frankly, I only know so much about this, about like the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, but understanding what it does, right? So the amygdala is a small almond cluster part of our brain, and it's been wired for survival. We've used it for millions of years to survive. And so what often happens in our day to day is a lot of things get positioned there as survival. It takes over, right? There's literally something called amygdala hijacking. You can look it up. And so the idea here is this is like a smoke detector. It fires off alarm, the fight or flight in our bodies. We want to just simply move ourselves to the prefrontal cortex, right? This is like the high road, if you will. This is the thinking in the conscious mind. This is the key of this exercise, right? And so the exercise is very simple. What are you feeling? And just write it. This is only for you. So don't limit yourself here. What are you feeling? Maybe you're like, I'm feeling freaking stressed out. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I am feeling self-doubt. Whatever it may be. I'm feeling anxiety. Whatever it is for you. What are you feeling? Write it down. Take out a journal. I recommend doing this written in a journal. Certainly you could do this in like your Apple Notes or your Google Doc. It's fine too, but I personally like to do this writing it out. And then secondly is what thoughts created those feelings. Write them down as they are, no matter how messed up they seem, right? So if you're like, I am feeling worried or stressed or anxious, what thoughts are those? Maybe you're like, man, I feel like I might not get clients this month, or I feel like my clients might cancel, or I feel like I feel like I'm not gonna be able to pay myself or pay my bills. Whatever it is for you, write down the thoughts that are creating these feelings. Take time with this. Like block out 10, 15 minutes to do this, whatever it takes for you, and like really get clear on these thoughts, because unless you can catch the thoughts, you're not going to be able to break the pattern. You're not, it's just period, right? So you got to be able to catch the thoughts, become aware of the thoughts, jot them out, everything that is creating those feelings. And now I want you to think, what biases do you have and what illusions are you succumbing to? Like, how are you causing this? Right? If you are going to play the victim of your life, you're never going to move forward. But if you could see like how like what biases do I have that might be causing this right now, right? And what illusions am I succumbing to? And we're going to go through some of those in just a minute. Step 4, and so you would just simply write down the illusions. And again, I have a whole list of some of the most common illusions right here that we're going to be going through in just a second. And then lastly here is remove the illusions. So see them for what they are without the biases, right? Put more effort into your prefrontal cortex, okay? And then you want to reinterpret reality. You want to start to go into empathy. You don't want to beat yourself up here. You want to go into empathy. And so let's go ahead and walk through some of these illusions so I could show you exactly how to, at least I've done this, to reframe it. So real quick, when to use this, you want to use the illusion exercise whenever you're feeling stuck, unmotivated, or emotionally reactive to a situation, right? Think about times that happen in business. Maybe a client cancels, you get a hater on the internet, right? Somebody trolls you or something. Something in your personal life happens. Maybe you and a spouse get into an argument. You get mad at your kid, right? But if we're keeping this business related, you can use this for any part of life, is what I'm trying to say. But like anytime you feel like you're stuck, you're unmotivated, or you're emotionally reactive to any situation, use this. And it's especially helpful when you're procrastinating on something, right? Maybe you're trying to create like a VSL or piece of content, or and you're procrastinating, you're doubting yourself, right? Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. You're frustrated by a slow progress you might be having. You're comparing yourself to others. This is a big one. You're feeling complacent, right? This happens quite often. Blaming external circumstances for something that's going on. This is a really big one as well. And seeking external validation, right? Maybe if you're not getting likes on your content, it's like it's destroying you inside. So these are really helpful when you're experiencing these. So this is going to help you uncover the limiting beliefs, reframe the distorted thinking, and shift your focus to empowered actions, allowing you to move forward with clarity, confidence, and an emotional balance. Right? So here are some of the illusions that we'll walk through. First one is self-flagellation. And so how I'm going to do these is there's a description, there's the impact that it's causing right now, typically in most people's lives, and there's a simple reframe that you can use. And so self-flagellation is when you're beating yourself up, you're giving up, or you're checking out when things don't go as planned. The impact this causes is typically it leads to self-sabotage and drains confidence. And so a reframe here is have self-compassion and persistence because those are essential for growth. So this is a reframe that you could tell yourself, right? Progress is built on patience, not punishment. And you can lovingly tell yourself to just stop it. Stop it, right? I had a previous mentor long ago tell me, I was like, I was complaining about something. He's like, stop it, stop it. And I was like, fair enough. Illusion 2 is the urgency illusion. So what this means is you're feeling like you must fix everything immediately or take action without clear thinking. So the impact, this creates a lot of overwhelm when you feel like something not, has to get done now. It goes into reactive decision making, and it often leads to burnout. A very successful life coach, her name is Brooke Castillo, and she has a quote that I love, and it says, burnout doesn't come from the amount of work you do, it comes from the emotion that's fueling your work, right? So a lot of times when you're constantly under urgency, and you're gonna have burnout. And so most problems, this is a reframe, don't need to be solved right now. Slow down, prioritize, and focus on what truly matters. Illusion 3, the importance or perfection illusion. So placing excessive importance on one project or an action, causing procrastination or maybe paralysis by analysis, right? This increases pressure. It leads to inaction, overthinking. So the reframe here is just reminding yourself that perfection is an illusion. There's no one single action or project that's going to determine your success. You want to focus on consistent effort because progress is better than perfection. The good enough illusion, right? The good enough, and I tied in what I call the finish line illusion. So this is basically when you're stopping effort after achieving some results. Maybe you get you get a couple paid in fulls one month, and you kind of like take the foot off the gas, and what ends up happening is the next month you have a slow month because you stop putting in the effort, right? And it's called the good enough illusion. Or on the opposite side, it's believing success is a final destination with permanent results, right? A lot of times we've been trained to have quotas, to hit numbers, to, get to, 100K per month or 30K per month or whatever it may be, and realizing that there is no finish line, right? Because the impact that this creates is it halts progress, prevents growth to higher levels, and leads to disappointment when cycles of effort and results continue. The reframe here is success requires sustained effort and is cyclical, right? It happens in cycles. Focus on evolving processes, on your skill sets and your processes, not the fixed outcomes. Keep pushing to align with your long-term vision. Very simple, right? It's like using a gym analogy. It's like if you're in the gym, you're going to probably focus on lifting heavier weights, changing up your rep ranges, slowing things down, right? You're going to focus on the process, not necessarily like, do I have biceps now? You see what I'm saying? And so the same thing is true in our businesses. The fifth illusion is the unique illusion, the I'm a unique snowflake illusion, right? It's believing your circumstances are so unique that success is harder or impossible for you. And the impact is this creates excuses and limits your belief in your potential. And the reframe here is others have faced similar challenges and succeeded. You are capable of finding a way to. Illusion 6, the lack of opportunity or scarcity illusion. So this is when you believe there isn't enough time, money, resources, or opportunities to achieve your goals, right? This creates a scarcity mindset. It leads to fear, hesitation, and lack of initiative. It limits creativity, relationships, and the ability to see or create possibilities for growth. The reframe here is opportunities and resources are abundant when you shift your focus to creating value, to building relationships, to taking persistent, proactive action. You can generate what you need through action, adaptability, and collaboration. It's so important to just remind ourselves when we get stuck in this scarcity or this lack of opportunity, is you're sometimes one relationship away, or you might need to remind yourself that like you are a value creator. The more value you create consistently and persistently, the more inflow that's going to come back to you, the more opportunities in terms of cash, relationships, resources that are going to come back your way. 7, this is a big one. The comparison illusion. This is measuring your progress against others and feeling inferior or unworthy. The impact is this causes self-doubt, envy, and distraction from your unique journey. So the reframe here is comparison is only as useful for inspiration, right? So you can like model somebody, but you don't want to compare yourself, right? So focus on your unique strengths and progress. This is a really good reframe. Illusion 8, linear progress illusion. So the description here is expecting progress to be steady and success to come easily or naturally. The impact, it leads to frustration when things aren't going just on a linear progression, right? It has disillusionment, right? You start to get false illusions, and you might avoid challenges. And the reframe here is growth is non-linear, and it does happen in cycles, right? Sometimes you have to take 2 steps back to be able to leap 5 steps forward. Plateaus and setbacks are essential for breakthroughs. Like, you have to have setbacks, you have to have failure, you have to have plateaus. Those are the stepping stones for growth, right? That's a really good reframe. The control illusion, number 9, right? Just a handful more here. Believing you can control every outcome or external factor. This impacts you by creating stress, anxiety, and resistance when things don't go as planned. The reframe here is focus on controlling your actions, not external outcomes. And adaptability is a greater strength than control. Your ability to adapt is what matters, right? I once heard this quote. Maybe it's from the Bible. I don't know where I heard this, actually. I can't remember. But it's like, control what you can, cope with what you can't, and concentrate on what counts. That's a really powerful quote, right? Control what you can. You can control your you could control your process, you could control posting content, you could control reaching out to people, you could control building relationships, you can control those things. And so when you could control your actions, the results will tend to come. Illusion 10, validation illusion. This is needing external approval to feel confident or worthy. This impacts people by causing people pleasing. I'm very guilty here. Inauthenticity and reliance on others for motivation. Very, very deadly trap to fall into here. The reframe that I've used for myself is to validate yourself through your values, progress, and self-trust. Illusion 11, happiness through achievement. Oh my God, so many entrepreneurs get stuck here. This is believing you'll be happy once you achieve a certain goal or milestone. I'll only be happy when I hit 10K, 20K, 30K, 50K, whatever K, right? This creates constant dissatisfaction and moving the goalpost for happiness. Oh my God. I know people that are doing millions and millions of dollars a year, 8, 9 figures, and they're still unhappy, right? They're still moving the goalpost. And so it's really being able to, the reframe is having happiness is a skill that's cultivated in the present moment. Achievements add to fulfillment, but they aren't the sole source. And really seeking and finding the fulfillment you have today in your life. Illusion 12, the last few. All or nothing illusion. And I kind of coupled this with instant gratification. So this is when you're expecting immediate results from your actions or efforts, or believing you must go all in or do nothing at all, right? This typically leads to impatience, quitting too early, impulsive decisions, and action when perfection isn't achievable, or it just burnout from over effort, right? This is like the person that goes hard on content and DMs, for like a couple days, and it doesn't do it for a handful of days, and it does it for a couple days, doesn't. Same thing with working out. It's like somebody's going hard, working out, and then they stop, right? It's like, it's all or nothing. Or they're expecting that, like, oh, I worked out once, why don't I have abs? I posted content for a couple months, why don't I have, like, $1 million business, right? The reframe here is results compound over time. Small, consistent actions lead to big results. When you focus on progress over perfection and long-term rewards, that's key. Illusion 13, the last 3. It's too late. So this is believing you missed your chance or that the timing isn't right. Stops you from taking action and pursuing your goals. And the reframe is, it's never too late to start. Timing improves when you take action. There's people that didn't start businesses so they were like 50 or 60 and they become millionaires, right? So it's never too late to start. Illusion 14, identity illusion. Believing your current identity or circumstances define who you are and what you're capable of. This is going to limit your growth by locking you in a fixed mindset. As Lewis Howes talks about, was it Lewis Howes? In his the book The School of Greatness, but I think it was like Carol Dweck in the book Mindset, talks about fixed mindsets versus growth mindsets. So it's really key. Like, if you're stuck in an identity, like, I am this person, it's like, you're not. The reframe here, let me get into that. Your identity evolves with your actions. Who you are becoming is more important than who you've been. Like, that's how we break patterns, is constantly stepping into who am I becoming. And last but not least, I could definitely go more and more, but these are the most common 15. The blame illusion, right? Believing external circumstances or people are the primary cause of your problems. This keeps you stuck in a victim mindset, avoiding responsibility for the outcomes. And so the reframe here is taking ownership gives you the power to change your circumstances, right? Without it, you're never going to truly be able to grow. And so those are the most common illusions. And so remember here, you might only be in one or two. And different illusions will pop up during different times. And so the key here is when you go through this exercise, do it every day. Like I'm telling you, I did this every day at the beginning for just about, I think I might have, just being honest, I might have missed a couple days here and there, but I did this more or less every day, sometimes twice a day for 30 days straight. And this helped me be able to get the clarity to shift my beliefs, to see things in a new light. And it allowed me to be more consistent with the money making moves, with actually showing up and executing in my business, and with being able to just clear some of the mental fog and the clutter that was just clouding me. And it alleviated stress, it alleviated overwhelm, it alleviated so many things for me that I was able to triple my income during that phase. And again, I've used this for so many different plateaus that I've been in my business, in my life, and it's continued to help me grow. And so you could like I would do this exercise, try it on, do it for different kinds of things that pop up, do it every day, twice a day. The more you do it at the beginning by writing it down, the more it's going to stick in your mind, the more you're going to truly clear this over time. Like I still like to write this down. Over time, you'll be able to catch these things like just right here, and you'll be able to process them in your mind. But I highly encourage you to write this stuff out. It is work, but this is the work, because again, as Tony Robbins says, success is 80% psychology. So if you're not taking care of this, if you're not taking care of your state in really shifting out and clearing that mental fog and that clutter, the strategies, you can have the perfect strategy, which is an illusion, right? But you can know what to do. It doesn't mean you're going to succeed, right? So if you have any questions about this, please let me know. Reach out, connect. I'm happy to be able to help. And if you found this video helpful, let me know. Drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear. So as always, remember, your message matters now more than ever has before. Don't be afraid to speak it. As always, be seen, be heard, and be impactful.